Lego, did you not just make a video about Matvei Michkov going over to the Philadelphia Flyers and reportedly signing his ELC? Yes, we did just make that video, but this separate video is separate for a reason, because that previous one, it went over all the good things. Hey, Philadelphia Flyers fans, rejoice! Michkov is coming to town! But this video is a lot more negative, because today, instead of going over Matvei Michkov and how great he's going to be with the Flyers, let's go over one of the teams that had passed on him in the 2023 draft. In particular, it's the team that a lot of people thought would have had their eyes on Michkov, who inevitably went 7th overall. The team that passed him 2 draft picks before, the Montreal Canadiens, who drafted David Reinbacher in the 5th overall spot. Because, to the surprise of nobody, with the news that Matvei Michkov is now coming over to North America and projected to playing in the NHL in 2024-2025, you have tweets like this: Matvei Michkov is coming to the Flyers before David Reinbacher comes to the Habs. Oh, the irony. Let's continue. Another tweet here from Talk Canadiens was from earlier today. Martin Lapointe explained that the reason the Montreal Canadiens picked Reinbacher wasn't because necessarily he was better than Michkov, but because of the unknowns surrounding when Michkov would play in the NHL. It turns out Michkov will play in the NHL before David Reinbacher. Here are the comments made by Lapointe from TVA from about a year ago, I'm pretty sure these were from. For sure, the fans would have liked a sexy pick, a guy who scores goals, said the director of amateur recruiting and director of player personnel, Martin Lapointe, in an interview with TVA Sports at the end of the game, I guess, or the draft, excuse me. We did not disdain Matvei Michkov's talent. He is very talented, competitive, works well at the bottom of the ice, he added about Michkov. On the other side of the rink, it's a little worse. But you live with his mistakes. But also, there were so many unknowns. 3 years of waiting, so we leaned towards Reinbacher. That is a direct confirmation saying that this Montreal Canadiens team took Reinbacher because they were uncertain about Michkov, because they didn't know when he would be coming over, and they were scared that he would take too long. They were fearful as to what they would be missing out on if they drafted him rather than a guy who may be able to play in the NHL sooner, like David Reinbacher. But the irony is, if you think about Reinbacher as an AHL guy next year and Matvei Michkov as an NHL guy next year, yeah, Michkov's going to be here first. And now you have a whole bunch of tweeters going out there and saying things like this: if David Reinbacher is anything less than a number 1 defenseman, the 2023 draft will be looked at as one of the biggest failures and haunt us for over a decade. This was tweeted out earlier this morning after the Michkov news. It's like Michkov's already passed 1,000 points in the league. Baffling. You're so dramatic. I disagree. It won't be one of the biggest failures. If Reinbacher never plays a game and Michkov scores 30 goals for 10 years, then sure. But not being a number 1 defenseman isn't the passing mark to make this a failure that will haunt us. He can be an important part of our decor. Even in the second pair, it won't haunt us. And sure, I get it. This tweet is, really dramatic. But it does proclaim the sentiment that I'm seeing from a lot of Canadiens fans from today and from earlier this morning that, hey, it's kind of time to panic here. What is Kent Hughes doing? This was a mistake. This was a really bad move. Why did they take Reinbacher? Michkov is available. Michkov is coming over. Again, we had talked about this in the video yesterday, but based off of how Matvei Michkov's interviews reportedly went, it seems like Michkov may not have made it super obvious to the teams drafting in the top 6 that he would have been an available option for the NHL in 2023-2024. This wasn't really a guy that was open to going to any one of these teams. He very much had an agenda to go to the particular team that he wanted, and it seems like Philadelphia was one of the first ones that was on the board that he would have been okay with. So this entire situation of the Montreal Canadiens being scared of Michkov, you know why they were scared of Michkov? You know why they were scared of the time? Because Michkov didn't make it obvious to them that he could have been able to come over. It seems like he just didn't want to go to Montreal. Everything that we had heard from the Philadelphia Flyers and their party indicates that Matvei Michkov made it clear to them, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna play for you guys. If you draft me, I want to be here. I have the opportunity and the option to one day leave my KHL team and go to the NHL before this 2026 expiration date of my normal KHL contract. That was the big thing. Oh, he's going to take 3 years to come over to the NHL. But nah. Michkov apparently made it obvious to some of these teams that he wanted to go to that he would have been available. So for Montreal to say, we were scared, we didn't know how long it was going to take, that's part of it. He just didn't want to go to Montreal, it seems like. And for Kent Hughes to get the brunt end of that, because he took David Reinbacher, who admittedly is going to take a little bit longer to develop than we had thought, it's kind of funny to me. Now, this isn't the only tweet going out there and talking about this kind of a thing. Let's go out there and read here. No, guys, David Reinbacher was a good pick. Hughes has a great plan. We just trust him. We knew Michkov would come over. That's why we didn't pick him. I swear it's because Reinbacher is so good and we don't even want Michkov. Yeah, a lot of people are, trolling about this entire thing. Grant McCagg said this about the entire ordeal. Michkov coming over predictably gets twisted into a C, the Habs should have drafted him conversation. Whoa, hold your horses. A, he hasn't played a bloody game in the NHL. B, 6 teams passed on him, not 1. And C, Reinbacher looks like Montreal's future #1 right-handed defenseman. I almost said first rounder. I was like, wait, no, that's not what that means. And weren't there rumors that Michkov did not want to play in Montreal? If that's the case, it was very much mutual, so move on. Now, I will say, there's a lot of concern amongst the fan base from today because of this Michkov thing. We're starting to say, okay, well, what does that mean for next season? What does that mean for the draft in 2024? I mean, if you want to go over to that 5th overall strategy, Arpon Basu is confident that the Montreal Canadiens will prioritize a forward in the draft, even if a good defenseman is available. So that means either a Caden Lindstrom or an Ivan Demidov. There are options here for the Montreal Canadiens, and honestly, the caliber of talent at the top of the draft is pretty good, so whomever they go with, I think they'd be okay with. But realistically, that David Reinbacher, Matvei Michkov pick is going to really age poorly, assuming Michkov ends up exhibiting the potential that we know he has at the NHL level. Here's another comment going out there and trying to calm the waters a little bit. I know this might be impossible for some to accept, but can there be a world where both Reinbacher and Michkov become excellent NHLers who help their respective teams succeed? Wow, mind blown emoji. Like, a lot of people are freaking out about this. Why can we just not be happy for both of them? I think both can be true, but if he becomes a Kucherov-type player and we got a Hanifin, we'll never see the end of it. That is just how it goes sometimes, baby. That is how the draft goes. You pick guys, you lose out on guys. Sometimes you get the short end of the stick, other times you get yourselves the next Nikita Kucherov. That's kind of how the cookie crumbles. Now, there were some other ones. For your information, if you're crapping on David Reinbacher as opposed to being a Habs fan because of Michkov that has nothing to do with him, you're an effing a-hole. Direct your anger towards management that you clearly have no faith in anyway, and screw off. Why so much hate on David Reinbacher today? Is it his fault that the Montreal Canadiens drafted him? They made their choice based on criteria that we don't have, and also with the data they had at the time, which was that Michkov was staying in the KHL for a while. Quit living in the past. And then you have yourselves the tweets saying, hey, if they picked Michkov last year, they really could have taken the BPA this year, and they could have had either a pairing of Lindstrom or Demidov with Michkov, or they draft a defenseman better than David Reinbacher at number 5. They screwed up. A lot of people going out there and freaking out about this, but I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, how are you taking the news of Matvei Michkov's departure from SKA and heading over to Philadelphia? Was this a huge mistake by Kent Hughes? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.